Captain Paul for the locker room here. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, and let's get into it. Matthew Boldy, he has been on a scoring hot streak. 9 goals in his last 5 games. He gets a hat trick tonight, and he propelled the Minnesota Wild to another win. Now, the Wild, they were a team that I picked to finish first in the Central Division, but this season wasn't looking great at points, and it looked like they'd maybe get a wild card spot, but they have truly turned it on towards the end of the season. Guys like Matthew Boldy stepping up when Kaprizov has been out shows the resilience of this Wild group. Boldy is in his 2nd year. For a 21-year-old to be 4th on the Wild in scoring, that's really, really good, and you're definitely hopeful that he can develop into a superstar like Kaprizov. I will say this. The Seattle Kraken are starting to slide, and a lot of it is due to their goaltending. While the Wild won this game 5-1, the Kraken outshot the Wild 36-20. You can't let in 5 goals on 20 shots. But I will save that for another video to discuss the Seattle Kraken. Back to the Wild. It is really impressive how well this team has done towards the end of the season. They're 7-1-2 in their last 10, and while not picture perfect wins by any stretch of the imagination, you could even argue the Seattle Kraken were over them at points. They just find ways to win. Marc-Andre Fleury played really solid. He made 35 saves on 36 shots for a .972 save percentage. In 43 games played, 24 wins, 13 losses, 4 overtime losses for a 2.81 goals against average, a .909 save percentage. Those are solid numbers for Marc-Andre Fleury, but let's be very honest here. He is the backup in this tandem due to Gustafsson playing lights out for the Wild. So how far do I think the Wild can go? I don't really trust their defensemen. That's not a slight on all of them. I think Middleton, Spurgeon, and Brodin can be pretty solid, but the rest of them, like Dumbo and Merrill, I'm not necessarily sure they can hold up in a 7-game series. They have the offensive output. They have the starter in Gustafsson, who's been insane this season with 34 games played, 2.01 goals against average, a .932 save percentage. I would argue if Ullmark wasn't having the season he was, Gustafsson, hands down, is the Vezina winner. So you have the offense and goaltending. I just don't think they had the defensive depth to go to the Stanley Cup final. I do see them going into round 2 or round 3. But that is just my opinion. Down below in the comment section, do you think the Minnesota Wild can win a Stanley Cup? And if not, how far will they go? I'm Captain Paul. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. See you in the next video.
Second hat trick in the last 5 games for the Wild, who continue to get it done